Jennifer, same question. Budget process last year was difficult. Your views, please, on the senior center and elder care, the Gulfport Police Department, and the dispatchers.
Now, when I was preparing for this, I thought those were like 3 different questions. So it's maybe sort of a long response, but I'll do my best to try to contract it down. Okay. And just so I know, will we have another opportunity to talk about the budget?
Yes.
We will. Okay. All right. So that helps me. Well, let's start with the thorniest one and issue in terms of police and dispatch. I want to state this unequivocally. I'm going to look right in the camera because I want everybody in Town Shores who see this on closed circuit that I am absolutely committed to keeping our local police. I stated that over and over again during the budget process. I put it in writing. And I want to say that all of my colleagues on council, they all make statements, similar statements at different times as well. So although people have tried to tie together the dispatch and the police decision and some future police decision, I'm against it, and I'm pretty sure the people who are on council right now are also against it. Our local police, we want to see our policemen come to our door in their uniforms, and other cities contract with the sheriff's office and get, like South Pasadena happens to have 2 sheriffs. That's not for us. When those sheriffs go off duty, there's actually a gap in time when there's not the coverage of 2 cars at the same time because they have to take their cars back to Largo. We will never do that. We are so dedicated to our police. We can afford to keep our local police because we made these hard budget decisions. We had to come up with savings or increase in revenues totaling over $600,000 last year, almost $1 million. And this decision saved us $300,000, not this coming year because there's a transition cost and we didn't do it for the whole year, but from this time on, our budget is now about 3% lower than it was the year before, and that's going to be consistent. But most importantly is, there's actually a couple other things I'd like to point out. One of the things that came out from some of the staff in the police department was that this was not the first time this happened, and I'm not even sure, maybe one of the other times it happened was when one of your parents was on council, where they were actually looking at dispatch before. And the reason why is we could even try to afford, and at a cost of $300,000 more than what the sheriff could do, is to have one person on every shift, 24/7. We have to have somebody there. That's all we could afford to do. That was as lean as we could get. Now what we have in terms of safety is that we have that when we call either 911 or the 1030-893, 1030, which we're still paying for to keep that number because we're very attached to that phone number, we immediately get somebody who takes the call, who immediately pushes over the information to the person who's going to talk to the police and keep the police safe and informed all along the way. Before, we had to have one person do both functions. If another call comes in while those 2 people are handling one of our calls, there's more staff. There's 7, there's like 7 call takers and 5 people with the police at any one shift, and shifts a little bit during the day. So there's always a backup. So we have so much potential for so much better service. I actually think we're going to be better served, and also because we saved that money. In my mind, even though I would never get rid of our local police, I think that they've done their share, and I think some of the other departments are going to have to look at potential ways that they can make more of a cut in their budget, because our budget is too high. It grew high when we had high property values, and we got used to a much bigger budget than we really need. And so that was one thing that we did. Now, in terms of the senior center, for services that we have for the senior center, I'm sure from my opening you can guess that I'm a big fan of the senior center. And 3 things that I learned back in 06 that's still true today, I'm pretty sure, is that seniors especially care very much about our police and fire. They're the first people on the fire, usually the first people on the scene. If you have fallen, I don't know how many times I heard over and over again, I fell, or I needed a package moved, or I needed this extra assistance, and I called the non-emergency number, or I called the emergency number in case of a fall. And they were there, and they were picking me up and getting me, making sure I was safe, and I didn't feel like I had any broken bones. And And it really mattered. That's how people feel safe and secure here in Gulfport, because they know that our police, who are still our police and are still going to come to our door, are going to come to our door. The other program that's so important to seniors is GEMS. And for a while there, we had GEMS and we had the trolley that was funded through the county, partway through the county. And then they decided not to continue that contract. So a really good thing that happened was that Sue Frank, who's on top of her game, expanded the GEMS van service so that the really popular part of the trolley route was going from here to South Pasadena, to the stores in South Pasadena. That's going on an hourly, that happens hourly now during the week, so that we're expanding that service. And there are some other things that I've done in terms of supporting seniors. In addition to the expansion of GEMS, which was really Sue's idea, but we met together with the city manager, and I really encouraged it, was we added 21 bus stops. We added or upgraded 21 bus stops, and right before I came on board, and I know that Art Padula's here and was with the Lions Center. I was initially excited about having the Lions Center do bus benches until the reality was I found out that you could have bail bond advertisements and men's clubs and all sorts of things, ads, and that was just not Gulfport. Might be Largo, sorry Largo, but it's not Gulfport to have those kind of signs in our streets. So, but we found out through actually residents, listen to the residents, there's a way to get free benches, and that was one of the first things I did, was to make sure that they put ADA accessible pads on underneath benches that didn't have them, and then replace bad benches or missing benches where it was needed. One of the reasons why I care so much about aging, or I'm not sure it's chicken and the egg, but I earned my PhD at University of South Florida in aging studies, and my focus was on long-term care and quality of life. And I can't imagine a better place to grow old than Gulfport, and that's what I plan to do here. And so the quality of life for seniors matters to me a lot, and the Senior Center is a big focal point for that.